Hey lovelies, you're welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. Let's talk about Melody confronting Maurice about the DUI. Maurice was not having any of it. But one thing I did was, I've always known Melody is a star, but like watching that back and seeing how she cooked Maurice, the energy she gave Maurice, the tone, how calm her facial expressions were. She looked so nice and lovely. And you can see Maurice looking so bothered, and it was hilarious to watch. I watched the clip so many times, I just kept playing it back because I wanted to see the facial expressions, the energy, the way that she was responding to him, the way he was responding to her. It is delightful to watch, honestly. So I want us to talk about it. But before that, if you're new to this channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash it with all that energy, smash it, and turn on all your notifications so you know every single time that I post. Don't forget to like, share, and also let me know what you think in the comment section below. Now let's get into it. I was absolutely here for the way Mel confronted Maurice, and I want you guys to listen to the audio. So I'm going to play the audio for you guys. I want you guys to listen and follow the audio, and then let's talk about it right after.
I've had some conversations with some people in this friend group regarding you and, you know, what took place with the DUI and all of that. I felt it was irresponsible. It was embarrassing and disappointing. And I felt like the response the day after could have been more appropriate versus it seemed like it was right back partying, hey, bottles back up again. You know what I'm saying? Like you have in this friend circle, from the beginning, always come off as the one who is the most level-headed, you know what I'm saying? The most intelligent.
One who makes decisions and forms his opinion based off of information that he actually knows.
However, for me too, it's a personal feeling for me because I lost my grandmother to a drunk driver.
Hey, let me stop you there. Do you know anything about what actually happened that day?
The report, unless the report from the police is false.
Okay. Tell me what information you know.
Why don't you tell me you were there?
No, tell me what information you know.
Why don't you tell me you were there?
I was the only one there. That's why I know you don't know any information.
There wasn't an officer there?
Oh, he wasn't there.
So how could an officer do that?
Oh, you know that he doesn't know what happened either.
I'm sorry, one second. Your tone right now is very, very becoming very defensive.
Mel, you know what you did? You started this conversation and you told me everything that you think that you know about the evidence of what happened. You weren't there. I think that Melody is speaking about things that she doesn't know anything about. However, in this moment, the good thing I'm finding out is that Mel is also, among all the things that she does, she's also omnipresent and omniscient. And if she keeps working, she's gonna wind up being a deity.
I know some of y'all think Mel is being messy, but I'm with Mel on this one. These people are on a reality TV show. If you have a DUI, get caught out for a DUI, someone on the show has got to talk about it. And on this show, it has to be Melody because no one else will talk about it. Everybody is clicky, doing gang because they're so used to antagonizing Mel and Martell that they're always team themselves versus Mel and Martell. So now that Mel and Martell have separated and no longer a team, feel like they are on the outs with most people, especially Melody in particular. I do think that it needed to be brought up. Now, I will say this. I love the way Melody brought it up. She was so calm about it. She was talking about how embarrassing it was, how disappointed she was, and how he used to come across as the most level-headed, intelligent person on the cast, only for him to do such a thing. I think it was then interesting that Melody then tried to say about it's personal for her. She lost her grandmother to a drunk driver. Maurice cuts her off. And he's like, let me cut you off again. Or let me cut you off there. Something like that. And he started to ask her, does she know what actually happened that day? Let's be clear. If someone gets arrested and there's a police report and they say that the person was driving under the influence, if you don't come out to clarify, If I speak to your wife and she ain't got nothing to say, she doesn't clarify, you don't clarify, you're quick to clarify things on social media, yet said absolutely nothing. You mean to tell me that you don't think that I would be outside looking and thinking, this is true? Not everyone is going to give you innocent until proven guilty. Let's think about Karen Huger from Real Housewives of Potomac. She was avoiding it, not wanting to talk about it. Turns out we saw the video, which looked like she was under the influence of something. Now she has been found guilty. She was singing the same tune that you are, or you were. I feel like the difference is, luckily, I feel yours got dismissed because there wasn't enough evidence. But I suspect if they had more evidence, you may be under the same or in the same circumstances as Karen Huger, in my opinion. Now, before I forget my disclaimer, everything I say in this video, I've said so far on this channel, is alleged in my opinion only and for entertainment purposes. So he's now trying to make it seem like she doesn't know what happened that day. Okay, enlighten her. What is it that happened that we haven't seen in the report? What is it that happened that we need to clarify? Also, nobody said you should go out the next day, obviously drinking, making videos of you guys drinking and doing stuff, and then your family members doing Free Maurice, making it into a joke. You guys chose to do that. Even if you are innocent, that shows a lack of responsibility. That shows that you are trivializing something as serious as a DUI. This is the thing. I don't know why people trivialize driving under the influence. It is something that is very, very shocking to me. That thing can have someone lose their lives, can have you end in someone else's life. Do you want to live with that repercussion? Do you want to live with something like that? That is horrific. That is horrible. And that could have been avoided. So for me, it's very shocking that something as serious as that is usually trivialized on social media. But even beyond social media, when people say things like, oh yeah, they had I'm like, what are you talking about? You're out here drinking, doing the most, knowing fully well that you have to drive home. That is not responsible. That is not something a responsible person should do. And even if Maurice was innocent and wasn't driving under the influence, there should be some empathy for people who have been through some sort of DUI or as in family members have lost somebody to DUI or someone has been injured through that. You don't go out the next day playing around with bottles, acting like you're drinking and having a good old time like nothing happened the night before. It is not right. It doesn't look good. It doesn't depict someone who comes across as so level-headed and responsible and intelligent or whatever. It just doesn't come across well at all. And I personally feel like Maurice was doing the gaslighting because he's like, well, were you actually there? Okay, I wasn't there. Enlighten me. What was it? What happened? And I love how Melody phrased it. Melody was like, well, I see the reports, unless you're saying the reports are false. And here's the thing. If Maurice felt like the reports were false, then he should have said, yes, the reports are false. This is not what happened. This is what happened. But I feel like at the time of filming this, he had no idea how or which way the DUI was going to swing. He was just counting on hopefully being able to get it dismissed in some way, in my opinion, which is why he did not say the reports were false. Now, of course, we only saw a short clip, so who knows what he's going to say when the show actually comes out. But I personally do not believe for any reason that this man is going to open his mouth and say the reports are false. I don't believe that for a second. He also said something that I thought was interesting. He was like, there was no officer there. Okay, so how was the report? What happened? How did you end up getting arrested if there was no officer there? Like, it's just not adding up. 2 + 2 ain't 4 right now. Like, what is going on? And Mel talks about him being arrested. He starts raising his voice. And I'm just thinking, are you about to be raising your voice at a woman? What has she done to you? She's been calm. Why can't you have that same energy? This ain't Kimmy. So, like, you gotta reduce that volume. That bass in your voice, you got to bring it down a few notches. Mel was not letting it slide. Mel was like, your tone is getting very defensive. I was loving it. I watched it so many times because I was like, Mel is a class act. This is how you cook somebody. This is how you let people sweat. She is really good at it. She needs to do more of it on the show. I personally feel like you're not friends with these people. That's all right. But now I feel like you got to start starting ish, because clearly they're not going to do anything. They're not going to work. They're not going to show up to work and actually clock in. So now you're going to have to make them clock in if you want to get the bag and keep the show where it needs to be. If it was up to Maurice, this is the first we've even gotten Maurice activated. Let's be clear. The whole seasons, he's done nothing, in my opinion. He's barely been there. So this is the first time that he's actually trying to actually clock in and do some work. Not because he wanted to do some work, but because Melody is like, I'm not letting you go. You got to do some work. You got to put in some work. Did you guys, complete side note, did you guys see how pretty Mel looked? Mel was looking so good. I love that hairstyle on her. She looks amazing. It makes her look so youthful, so fresh and vibrant. I need her to keep that hairstyle for a while. She looks good. Now back to this whole Maurice and Mel saga. Maurice was saying in his confessionals that Mel is basically speaking on stuff she ain't know nothing about. And he feels like he's finding out that amongst all other things that Mel is omnipresent and omniscient. If she keeps going on, she'll end up being a deity. I'm like, I know he probably thought that was meant to hit and be funny, but that fell flat for me. I don't know how you all feel, but I thought that was flat. I was like, dude, seriously, that is the best you got. That is the best that you can come up with. Like, you couldn't even come up with something funny. This is not hitting the way you think it is hitting. Instead, you've been cooked. You've been barbecued. Now you want to be in the confessionals trying to save face, but it's not going to work. I won't be surprised if Maurice was like to Kimmy, you need to get her at the reunion for the way that she is calling them out and dragging them for filth, in my opinion. So yeah, I won't be surprised if Kimmy came on some antagonistic, I'm gonna read you, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Now, I do hope that production keeps the bit where Mel read her back, because I feel like production likes to do Melody dirty, in my opinion, and see if for Kimmy, especially with the way Carlos has been going off about it or going on about like how Kimmy was activated at the reunion, you can tell that she's going to get some good edits. So in prep, if Melody does not get good edits, Melody baby, I'm going to need you to do an interview right after or go on live and bring out the red phone and start bringing the receipts, honey. We need to see more of that. Now, that is all I want to talk to you guys about today. What did you guys think about the conversation between Maurice and Melody? Let me know in the comment section below. We'll talk about it in a lot more detail when the episode actually comes out and we see it word for word, because there might be more things to add. But in the meantime, if you haven't subscribe and tap that bell, turn on all your notifications, and don't forget to like, share, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.